What if I told you there's a mother who not only neglects her children, but also forces them to call convicted killers daddy? This isn't just a nightmare, it's the disturbing reality of Ash Treveno, a TikTok personality who has turned her controversial lifestyle into internet fame. With millions of views, Ash flaunts her reckless choices online, dating dangerous criminals, ignoring her kids' basic needs, and bragging about dodging child protective services. Instead of using her platform to provide for her daughters, she spends thousands of dollars on luxury items while her children sleep on an air mattress. Despite over 20 CPS cases, Ash remains untouched by the law, leaving many to wonder, how is she still getting away with this? Viewers are calling her the worst TikTok mom. And today, we're exposing the disturbing truth behind her parenting choices. Ash Treveno isn't just another TikTok influencer, she's one of the most controversial figures on the platform. With hundreds of thousands of followers, she built her brand on chaotic live streams, questionable parenting, and reckless spending. But behind the flashy persona lies a deeply disturbing reality. Ash loves to show off her wealth, frequently spending $700 to $800 on grocery hauls filled with junk food and energy drinks, yet her daughters barely see a home-cooked meal. She proudly unboxes Balenciaga slippers, Louis Vuitton bags, and the latest iPhones, while her children sleep on a shared air mattress. Instead of providing for them, she flexes her spending habits, telling viewers that $3,000 is dirt to her. But what makes Ash truly infamous is her long history with CPS. She brags about having over 20 cases filed against her, yet still maintaining custody of her kids. To her, evading CPS is an achievement, not a warning sign. While some fans see her as entertaining, many believe she is one of the worst mothers on the internet. Neglecting her kids while living a life of excess? Is Ash Treveno a train wreck or a danger to her own family? When people think of a loving mother, they imagine someone who puts their children first. But Ash Treveno? She puts her luxury shopping before her own daughters. Her daughters, 16 and 13, don't even have proper beds. Instead, they share a single air mattress on the floor. Meanwhile, Ash spends hundreds of dollars on junk food, but there's not a single fresh vegetable in sight. Their meals? Hot Cheetos and bean dip. One moment from her live stream shocked viewers. Her daughters asked if she could cook for them the next day. Ash was visibly stunned. She gave them a death glare as if they'd asked for the impossible. Despite her neglect, Ash is far from broke. She rakes in between $1,000 and $2,000 per TikTok live stream in donations and once made $112,000 in just 2 hours. But instead of spending on her kids, she blows it all on herself. Balenciaga slippers, luxury handbags, and the latest iPhone. Spent $395 on makeup and laughed, saying she thought she'd spend $11,000. Carries a giant Louis Vuitton travel bag as a purse. If Ash can afford all these luxuries, why do her daughters sleep on an air mattress? Why are they eating chips instead of real food? Viewers are outraged and wondering, how has CPS not stepped in yet? Ash Treveno's love life isn't just controversial, it's terrifying. While most people look for love in healthy relationships, Ash prefers men behind bars. Not just any inmates, but convicted killers. She proudly talks about dating men who have committed violent crimes, acting as if it's something to brag about. It's not just an obsession, it's a pattern. Over and over again, she seeks out dangerous criminals and forms relationships with them. The most disturbing part? She drags her daughters into it. Instead of keeping her unhealthy love life separate from her kids, she forces them to be part of it. She makes them call these inmates daddy, creating a false and unsettling dynamic. Imagine being a teenage girl, already dealing with the struggles of growing up, and then being forced to pretend that a convicted killer is your father. It's not just awkward, it's damaging. These young girls have no choice but to play along, knowing that their mother values these criminals over their well-being. People online are horrified. Viewers constantly express their outrage, calling her reckless, selfish, and unfit to be a mother. Many fear for the girl's safety, questioning why CPS hasn't stepped in yet. And the calls to CPS, they've been made over and over again. But somehow, Ash keeps getting away with it. Experts warn that growing up with criminal father figures can leave lasting emotional scars. These girls aren't just being neglected, they're being psychologically manipulated, forced to accept a reality that no child should ever have to face. CPS has been called on Ash Treveno more than 20 times, yet she still has custody of her children. Concerned viewers have reported her countless times, hoping authorities would finally step in, but nothing seems to change. Despite the shocking living conditions, CPS has not removed the children from her care, leaving people outraged. Many believe the system is failing these kids, allowing them to remain in a toxic and neglectful environment. One of the reasons CPS hasn't taken action is that they require undeniable proof of immediate danger. Ash is fully aware of how to manipulate the system, making just enough effort to avoid serious consequences. She knows what to say when questioned, and she ensures that any signs of neglect are difficult to prove. CPS visits her home, but somehow, she always finds a way to talk her way out of trouble. This has left many frustrated, wondering how much worse things need to get before something is done. Instead of showing concern over these repeated investigations, Ash treats them as a joke. She openly mocks the reports, calling those who report her haters and bragging about how she always manages to avoid consequences. To her, it's not about the well-being of her kids, it's about winning a twisted game against the system. The internet is furious. Across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, people are demanding justice for her children. Many say they deserve better, and if CPS won't step in, the public will continue to fight to expose the truth. The outrage against Ash Treveno is growing louder every day. Social media users across multiple platforms are calling her out for her reckless behavior, with many demanding immediate action. Fitness influencers have criticized her unhealthy lifestyle, pointing out how she neglects proper meals for her children while indulging in junk food and excessive spending. They argue that her habits set a terrible example for her young audience and, more importantly, for her own daughters. Family bloggers have been even harsher in their criticism, condemning Ash for her lack of parenting and emotional neglect. Many have shared heartbreaking clips of her daughters looking uncomfortable or ignored while Ash flaunts her expensive purchases. They argue that no child should have to live in such an unstable environment, especially when their mother is more focused on her online persona than their well-being. True crime fans have taken a particular interest in her obsession with dating convicted criminals. They question how she can so proudly glorify men with violent pasts while forcing her daughters to call them daddy. Many fear for the long-term emotional impact this will have on the girls, warning that they could be in serious danger. As the backlash grows, viewers are taking action. Reports to CPS have increased, and public petitions are circulating, demanding social media platforms ban her. Many are calling for TikTok to demonetize her account, arguing that no one should profit from exploiting their children. The pressure is mounting, but will it be enough to stop her? Despite mounting evidence and public outrage, Ash Treveno continues to avoid serious consequences. With over 20 CPS cases against her, many are left wondering why authorities haven't stepped in to remove her children from such a harmful environment. The system often requires undeniable proof of immediate danger, which Ash skillfully evades by maintaining just enough stability to avoid legal intervention. But how long can she keep getting away with this? There is also the question of whether she will face legal repercussions for her actions. Child neglect is a serious offense, and many believe she has crossed the line multiple times. If enough pressure builds, could she finally be held accountable? Social media platforms also have a role to play. TikTok continues to allow her to profit despite numerous reports and petitions demanding action. Will they finally take a stand, or will they continue to let her exploit her children for views and money? Ash Treveno's story is more than just internet drama. It's a disturbing look at how neglect and exploitation can go unchecked in the social media age. While she flaunts her wealth and dangerous dating choices, the real victims are her children. They have no say in the lifestyle they are being forced into, and their well-being remains in question. At what point does CPS finally step in? How much more evidence is needed before real action is taken? And should social media platforms continue to allow people like Ash to profit while endangering their own kids?